How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have Poeta back. Wow, this has been a hot minute since we've had Poeta on the channel, but they can say their names and what they do in the band.
My name is George Powell, and I am the percussionist for Poeta.
I'm Zach Keeley, and I'm the bassist.
There we go. Well,
Right.
Thanks, guys, for coming on. George, I had you on at the tail end of last year for something different. Go check out the Limelight podcast. You already know. Always got to support my boy George here.
We did a sick collab.
We did do a sick collab. It was great. And probably more to come soon. But we're having you on with Poeta. Very excited. You know, obviously, I feel like it's been a while since the last time. I was even trying to rack my brain, George, the last time that we had you on for Poeta. It was a couple years ago, at the very least.
It was definitely before the pandemic. And dude, was that in person? That was definitely in person.
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was.
I'm trying to remember. I feel like 2 years.
We did do the first one with shout outs to my friend Dan. We did that one. I think that was at Kevin's old place. Was that not?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Ooh,
yeah, that was like
great.
2016, 17.
Ooh, wow. The OGs.
That's when I had hair on my head.
Now you're just an egghead, bro.
Now I'm just a hairless drummer, according to the comments that we get on our new releases.
Now you just got to make a video.
Someone really called Dentino hairless. Like, he didn't call him bald. He's like, the hairless guitar player is so sick, and he dances like a grandpa at like a disco. I'm like, what? Why do they say hairless? Why did they just say bald? He's got a goatee. Like, what
he does. He's not hairless. Yeah.
What is he, like one of those naked mole rat cats?
It was a really weird comment, but it was funny.
Yeah, but
it was
the vast majority of the people liked it. So.
Oh,
of course. I liked it. You kidding me?
I thought it was funny. Even though, you know, I love Dentino, man. He's great.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I feel like you guys have been, you know, waiting in the wings, as per se, for some new stuff. I know you released a couple different singles. The most recent one was Stella as of Friday. You know, we're recording this on the 3rd. You know, how has the response been? Because you also released Archangel and Anxious Racing. I feel like you guys kind of are trying to at least build the momentum for some sort of, you know, either EP or album, from what I could at least gather from, you know, my knowledge of the years of doing this. You know, how do you feel like the response has been with the songs thus far? Because I've really loved all of them. Stella, I just listened to before we hopped on, and, you know, I really enjoyed that one as well. You know, how does it feel to kind of be more back in a more, I guess, I don't want to say full-time capacity, but more, you know, more out there now? Because I feel like you guys took like a long break to figure things out.
Oh, absolutely. You're 110% correct. But I think Zach should go first because this is his first original release as a musician. So
let's go, Zach.
I want to know how he's feeling.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I've done the cover band stuff for a long time. Obviously, I met George a few years back through fantasy football was how him and I linked up.
Hell yeah.
For years. And even before meeting the guy, he was always, like, we always connected, like, immediately. I think it was, like, through text. Without even meeting each other, we locked in. And, like, you know how musicians meet musicians. It's all like, you know, and like opportunities arise and you hop onto it. And George was trying to do, like, he was trying to do another project looking for a bass player. I was like, hey, like, I'm a bass player. He's like, oh, I forgot that you were a bass player when we reached out to you. So we got together and immediately became like, no kidding, like, we became best friends, like, immediately. It was crazy. And yeah, and then obviously with he told me about Poeta, and it was, you know, everybody was kind of taking a break for a while. Nobody knew what was going to happen. I looked into their stuff and I was like, wow, this band's really good. That's incredible. And, you know, time passed and George was talking about Poeta getting back together, and there was an opportunity for me to join the band. Me and George were doing the Limelight stuff for a while. I was helping him co-host with that. And that was a great experience. And honestly, like, the thing that you realize is that like with opportunities coming up and going and really hopping onto the right thing, the Limelight podcast, like that was like a kind of a perfect segue for Poeta to get back into the fold, because a lot of guys and a lot of girls that were listening to George's music, that kind of gave him credibility in the scene for people that otherwise probably wouldn't give him, the access that he needed. And everybody needs a musician. So, that helped a lot, and it built the confidence up about like what was already in the catalog. And then as like stuff became more normal again, getting out of COVID and the opportunity to write again, it just like it kind of made sense. And like a lot of things have changed. I've come into the band at the halfway point between one album and a new album, so I've kind of only seen things from one perspective. But from what I can see, just with us is, everybody needs a break for a little while. Everybody needs a little bit of time to just, get their creativity out and just experience life outside of the thing that that's normal to you. And it just feels like everything's just like going in a great direction. Everybody's been super positive about the stuff that we have. Like Stella's been great. Everybody that we show it to and everybody that's listened to it, they've had great reception to it. And to be honest, obviously I'm biased. I think that this is probably the most mundane soil of the album. We got a lot of cooler stuff that's in the wings ready to come out. So I'm really excited with how good this has been with the reception. I can't wait to see what people say with the newer stuff that's going to come out soon. So.
All right. George?
Yeah, we have like such a great flow already with this. I mean, I was thankful enough that Poeta, when we all sat down, kind of, because we all in the band have different, we just have different, perspectives of how we want to go about whether it's promoting, or we have different strengths in the band to make sure like what we can do is at the best of its ability. And I was like, please, let's push Stella first. I was like, right out of the gate, that is probably one of the most like ear-catching songs with an intense chorus. I think we played the chorus. Yeah, we played the chorus 3 times. So we were thankful. I was thankful to like, get heard out with that one and put it out. But I'm extremely excited. And with the MIA status of Poeta, that also just came with COVID too, because of the fact that, I mean, that's why I did the podcast, because I had so much downtime and I kind of wanted to get in. I still wanted to stay in the scene. However, the writing process was there, but it was very limited because we actually had time booked for the studio before the whole COVID situation happened.
Oh, wow.
And 2 shows. So essentially, it kind of like messed us up a little bit, just like everybody else. I mean, we're not the only ones out there. Like the whole industry was shook, and things were completely complicated. Nobody knew what to do. But I'm extremely excited to release more music. I mean, this is just the beginning. There's still more to promote. There's still more to talk about. We can say it is an album for sure, so it's definitely not an EP. But having Zach in the band has been such a great addition to have even more of a backbone than we already had prior to this, with his passion, the way he carries himself, and how professional he really takes this band to the next level. Kind of like meets us on the level that we have all been on since we started, and since we've been wanting to do this for a full-time thing as individuals and as a band in itself. But we're excited. I have to just keep finding new ways to promote us and market us, and Brandon, you and I were both content creators, so I'm constantly behind 2 screens right now, just trying to make sure that people love Poeta. Like every day's a new day. Like at 2:00 in the morning, we got added to a playlist from like a subreddit. So I was like, here's a W.
Cool. Yeah.
And I'm like, here's a W, here's a W. So I just want people to. I would like the opportunity for the scene to get a full taste of this first song, and then just be like, okay, like, how do you feel about this song? That's it.
Yeah.
So I think that's like the intentional goal for it. And then from there, they will discover through these next releases the intimacy and like the way we create our production in this music. So you're going to see a whole different aspect when we release these next singles, because it's nothing like what we released with Stella.
No.
Nothing.
I feel that even like kind of listening to like Anxious Racing and like Archangel and some of the newer songs, like I feel like you guys have some really great material coming out, obviously. Gonna have a lot of love for like some of the older stuff that you did, like Golden Fields. That was like when I had, George and I met originally. So, I'm always going to have that nostalgia or, love for that album, because I remember how many good memories that I had made through not only just that album, but just, obviously the connection that George and I have had for a long time. And then obviously nice to meet you too, as well, Zach. But I feel like, I feel like with the material, it just kind of gets better, every time you guys release something, with each single, because I was kind of, I don't even think I told George this, but I was just listening to each single, as they released, and I was just kind of like, I know he's going to come back on, so I'll have time to say what I needed to say to him, in a video format. But, I'm really glad that you guys are back out and doing it, because, I felt like you guys were definitely one of my favorites within Jersey, in terms of local bands. And, I always felt like you guys had something special. And, when you guys kind of took a little bit of a longer break, it definitely, like, hit me a little bit harder than, I feel like most people would even care about. But, when you guys were kind of like slowly just like, you're like, here's a song, and I'm like, okay, is this like, are you teasing something, or like, what are we doing here?
We were
like,
trying.
And
we were trying.
And I'm like, all right. I'm really hoping that they come back out and are, doing it again, because, like I said, I really enjoyed your guys' sound. I just think collectively you guys have a really good hold on what you guys are doing, and, I'm excited to see you guys kind of expand that ideology as this album, cycle comes to a start, which is great. So, and obviously I love that you guys are getting good reception on Stella and, Anxious Racing and Archangel as well. Do you have a favorite that you recorded in the studio that maybe hasn't released yet, that you're excited for people to kind of get an idea for?
Well, I know what Zach says too, but I appreciate the kind words. And I just to circle back real quick before we get into that question. But everybody in this band, this is why I love this band. Everybody has a huge different strength individually.
Sure.
And
yeah.
to put all four of us together and make that work, has been completely. It's just been completely different for me personally, because I don't think I've ever had that in a band. Usually there's always one person like dragging their leg or something, or they're somewhat of an anchor to put us in a position where it can flourish. But with this, it's just, dude, all three of these men that I'm in this band with, it's an honor and a privilege. So this is why it's so special. And shout out to Caliber TV, my dudes Tyler and Alfredo. I sent them the song mix to Alfredo, and then he was like, dude, this is awesome, because we talk every once in a while. I'm like, we're both busy as shit. So I had Tyler on the podcast, so we talk every once in a while. And then when he said that, I was like, cool, you like the song? Do you want it? And he's like, yeah, I'll take it. So then we talked to the label, and they were like, yeah, they can exclusively premiere. So that was really cool. I appreciate that, because their platform's
they're great. Yeah,
absolutely incredible.
Anything that goes on there, it's quality. So that was like a good confidence boost for us to know that, like, okay, what we're doing, it's not just us with our bias thinking that it's great and all that. It's like, okay, like people that actually are critical and see it for what it is, like they actually appreciate it too. So that was like, okay, like this is pretty cool.
Yeah, it was nice to have that validation. But to go back to your original question, the next single that actually just released, even though we are recording this right now, and it'll be out the day after it drops on the 29th, is Blossom. I just feel like that song is a true identity of Poeta in like creativity and like writing structure. It kind of reminds me of Heaven. Like Heaven is a Poeta song.
Yes.
Like Blossom is a Poeta song. Like there is the Anthony and Kevin, the way they wrote and structured that song, and thankfully, like I get the privilege to not even have to touch the drums that much. I think the only thing I really have to do is change up a couple like 16th notes, some fills, and that's it. But Blossom, dude, I'm telling you, man, you listen to the song, dude, that's a Poeta song, and that's the stuff that I would personally like to keep writing. And even though like the rest of the songs are Poeta songs for sure, and Jenna is like such a huge like from the ones you forgot is such a huge refreshing feature on this song.
Ooh.
I just think that it's just like overall, like that's if I had to identify our band, I always show Heaven first, but now I'm always gonna show Blossom first. I'm like, this is our band. This is our band. I'm like, would you like something that's aggressive and like pretty much a pop punk like
Sure, yeah.
Hands down song, yeah, there's Stella. But if you want to know what we are as a band, I will be showing Blossom all the time.
Zach, what's your pick?
There is another song. I don't know if we've talked about it yet, so I'll just say it's gonna come out probably right before the album drops. That's my favorite one. That's
so progressive.
Yeah, I know. For me, because obviously, like I look at the catalog, and I obviously had to learn the majority of Golden Fields for the live shows. So it means a little bit different to me. So my experience with all these songs are in the live setting, right? And every time we've played together, there's just like this weird energy you get from playing Heaven live, even before I knew like the impact of that song and how much it means to everybody in the band. George always told me for the longest time, he goes, there's something about when you're playing like certain live venues with an original band.
Yeah.
There's this certain energy you get when the crowd is actually like focused in on what you're doing. And that House of Independence show that we played with, the ones you forgot, back in December, I felt that for the first time and what he was talking about.
Yeah.
And I even had like a faux pas. Like there was so we were playing Heaven, and I was really excited to play the song, and like I'm really grooving. Everything sounds great. I can hear everything really well. Everybody's locked in. Me and George are just like, we're in the pocket together.
Powerhouse, baby.
Powerhouse, yeah.
I'm ready to like let it loose, and like I forget what part of Heaven it was, but I was like about to just lose my mind, and my strap fell off, and I had like
I didn't notice that either. So.
I had this oh shit moment, and then I just go over to the drum riser and I like kept it on my lap and I did what I could. But the reason why the song that I like on the album, and George, I'll just say it. Who gives a crap?
Just say it. Just drop the name.
Yeah,
but Seraph is what
it's called. Anthony's 21st birthday. That's
exactly. Anthony's 21st.
The third release is gonna be Seraph, and that's a longer song, and I think it's the most. I think this is the evolution of this band. Right?
What, Luna or Seraph?
Seraph.
Okay.
I think that's like kind of the way I look at it, because I look at everybody differently, is that I think this is like turning to the next chapter when I listen to that song, when we recorded that song. Because I feel like and like in a selfish perspective, I feel like I've really done a great job of just like helping these guys find their footing, and like the things that maybe you weren't so confident about or that you were a little insecure about. I feel like I'm the guy there. My role in this band is to make sure that you are appreciated, and that you are a talented individual, and that whatever you're doing, just keep doing and be unapologetic about it, because it works.
Sure, yeah.
Because, we all get a little bit of imposter syndrome. Sometimes people don't believe in themselves. And like sometimes you need that kick in the ass, or somebody just to give you like, hey man, like what you're doing is awesome. And I feel like I do a great job of doing that. And I think it's helped give confidence to these guys.
Sure.
And it gives confidence to myself doing that too. So when I hear that song, when we wrote that song together and we brought it into the studio, I felt like that song kind of epitomizes the next chapter of this band, which is super exciting, because this album has a little bit of something for everybody. If you want that more of that pop punk vibe, cool, we got you. But if you want to turn it up a little bit heavier, like Archangel style, we got that for you too. So it's a lot of diversity on this album. It's incredible. I love it.
I would agree with that too, because listening through all the singles that are out now, and I even with just 3 out currently, I'm like, there's such a range between all 3 of them that I'm like, even if like, because I kind of even recommend these people to like some of my fringe friends that are like, oh, I'm not really into like, heavy music, or I'm not into like, the pop punk thing. And I'm like, well, I still think you're going to enjoy it, because it's, got the energy, even if it's more in the rock lane or whatever. Like, my mom's even told me, like, man, did you interview this band Poeta? And I was like, yeah. She's like, Oh, they're great.
Oh, that's so rad.
I'll
Oh my
send
God,
I'll send her
Mama
song.
Bear.
I'll send my mom some songs like that I feel like she might enjoy because she's
We need some mom reviews.
mom
man.
reviews.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Just throw her on AA and just do a Poeta review when the album drops, dude. You and Mama Bear, that'd be so tight, dude.
Be Mama
That'd be
Z,
so
Mama
tight.
Z, and some me in reviewing.
We're a band for the people. We're not here for
Yeah.
a specific demographic. We're for the people, dude.
Right.
It's like Poeta band for the family band, you know.
The family band.
Family band. If we
Yeah.
don't get if we don't get on Family Matters, I'm gonna be thoroughly upset.
I'm gonna be upset for you guys, but I like. There's something about like the energy of it, and I even feel like I feel like you guys kind of capitalized on what Goldenfield brought, and I just like I don't want to rehash it a bunch of times because I just have a lot of affinity for it, but.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, the momentum for it was incredible.
Yeah,
So,
the momentum for it was
fun.
incredible, and I just thought, like, as being a fan and being friends with you guys, I was just like, man, I'm hoping that these guys kind of turn up. I hope everything turns up well, and obviously there was other things that played into factors of that, but ultimately I feel like you guys regrouped very well. And I think some of these songs, that are out now, and some of the ones that I imagine that are going to be on the record, are, I would argue, are some of your best work. I, as being a fan for a while, I think that there's always something unique about bands growing and evolving over the years, and I feel like you guys kind of took what was good with Goldenfield, and then obviously adding Zach into the band and having his style, being brought to the table. I think there's just a new energy to the band as a whole, and I'm really curious to just not only listen to the rest of the record, but also just to kind of I guess be more contextualized to all of the singles that are out and how they kind of fit into the record. I'm very much I like to listen to front to back the record,
Man,
whenever
that's
me.
Yeah.
And I think that especially when bands really take into account the whole theming of things and trying to figure that out, I think that's what really strikes me more than okay, cool, they release this cool 5-song EP, and that's great too, but I really like when bands take a lot of thought into doing it. And I know that recently you guys were in the studio, so how does it feel that the album is being worked on, and that you guys have new music coming out?
Well, that's the thing with you, dude, too. You exactly know, from your perspective and your opinion in a professional way, how these bands go about themselves too. That's why I love and trust your opinion. It's you know exactly how to view a band from afar and know the intention of what they're trying to do as a whole. You just have that professional take where a lot of people don't have it. I think that's a natural thing that you just come to I don't know, you just come to bring on to yourself. It's fascinating because when we had that group, you and I, we had that dual live stream about album reviews, the opinions were between us, yours was so more in depth than mine, and I was like, this dude is nailing everything on the head that he's saying. So when you take I feel like you're that person that can sit from afar and be like, okay, I could mess around with this band because I know there's a lot of I don't know, there's a lot of promise probably.
Yeah, there's potential.
You just see talent, there's potential, and dude, the amount of bands you've had on your channel before they got big, you were grabbing bands when they were babies. And now and even so, you just had Covet's third interview, those are the homies. So it's
they are. Yeah.
You knew Covet before anybody did. You're not even a gatekeeper about it.
I gotta give a shouts to my friend Nathan. I don't think that would have ever happened if.
Well, I mean, we all meet another musician from somewhere, but you saw the potential and you saw the talent. You're this band's definitely doing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Incredible.
I don't know, dude. It's just a natural talent you have.
I appreciate it.
I thought I had that talent. And when I found out for something, I'm like, oh, I was so wrong. Oh, I'll take that one back.
It's opinions too.
Yeah.
It's tough. I think even because I know George and I talk about it frequently about just trying to kind of understand where bands' ideologies are at, or where you feel they might go. There's always there's always an intention with a band, right? Like they're always gonna, you're gonna be having artists that write from the heart, or like that are really good and they write really well structured music. I kind of assimilate that more towards like a Polyphia or like a Chan, where you're like, wow, the structure of this is like insane. Like I would have never put those songs together the way that they are. But then you listen to a band that like, I think even lyrically, like you think of Silent Planet, where Garrett is like a monster at like lyricism and like contextualizing things, and you're like, man, like I don't know if I could really be, like I feel like I couldn't even do, if I reviewed their music, like am I doing their music justice, because it's so so like intense and so in depth, right? And so I feel like with you guys, like there's a level of like, okay, there's like this fun aspect to it. You guys got great energy. You got, like the songs just have a wide variety of sounds. And then lyrically, there's obviously a lot of depth there too. And, I like that you guys kind of straddle that point of like, where there are songs that are a little bit more, personalized. And like I know we were talking about Heaven a lot, but like that was one of my favorites from the last record. And I was just I think there's something about it where it's just so like minimalistic. Sometimes like songs like that don't have to have a lot going on, because a lot of it, a lot of the songwriting speaks for itself. And I think if it's a really well worded or well antiquated song, then it's gonna strike more than I think like just like a real like hype song. Not to say I don't like a good hype song. Don't because we love a hype song, but
that's why we put it out there.
Well, and also,
I mean, that's marketing purposes too.
Let's give a testament too, because I think that's like what got me into Poeta when I like obviously wasn't a part of the band at the time. Is like I think with what you're saying about we blur the line between being pretty technical and also at the same time being very approachable.
Sure, yeah, and I agree.
I think a lot of that, like Kevin and Anthony. Like Kevin's depth with words is incredible. To watch him be able to just come out with stuff at the top of his head. And also Anthony could play anything he wants under the sun.
Yeah.
And
I've seen it. Yep, I've seen it.
That dude's stupid talented.
And he doesn't give himself enough credit. And I think we really need to highlight how impressive what he does on these songs, because he plays incredibly technical pieces, but also makes it accessible for the non-musician to appreciate. And I think that's where you find your best musicians, the ones that you need to hold on to. And same with Kevin, man. Like just seeing their writing process, because all the songs come from those two, and watching the writing process, because it's kind of a good push and pull when you look at it, because Kevin has that creative, he can hear it in his head, and then you got Anthony who can regurgitate whatever you say in a musical language. So he has the theory down, and like that can be kind of hard to navigate that. So it's great because they complement each other so well, because like Anthony can play whatever he wants, but sometimes not even without having to say it, the simple stuff is what makes the song work. Mm-hmm. And even on like Stella, you really can't fully understand what Anthony is doing on that song, but he's doing finger taps, all that. In the music video, you get an idea of it, but underneath of that, it's a pretty simple song. There's really not much else going on. It's a very standard 4/4 beat. It's not anything crazy, but it's that blend of complicated with very simple. And it's so fun playing stuff like that, because you get to do both. You get to scratch both those itches that you have.
And from a marketing standpoint too, it's like, as a business, I mean, there are so many bands with their commercial songs. So I mean, like, if we want to identify Stella, that's technically, in my eyes, a commercial song.
I can agree with that. Yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad song. People like it. I mean, when I showed it to people first, I'm showing, whatever, it's too late now. But if I'm showing Stella and Blossom, I'm like, which song would you what song would you want have in your hands first? And it would be the first one, because only commercially it's revolved around that scene sound, that original sound that's been there forever. But that is like the hook line to bring them in and be like, so you like this? Let's try this. And then give that a shot, because we're not your typical band. I know bands want to say that all the time, but I mean, we're not. I mean, we're really not your typical band. Plus, like, I mean, like, the perfect example, like, Coheed, like, Welcome Home is, like,
Yeah.
a big commercial song. And, you know, a lot of the fans are like, this song, that song, blah, blah. But guess what, dude? That put them on a bigger platform to put them in front of a bigger audience.
Yeah.
And as a business tactic, like, I would do the same thing. It's not like, I mean, I think they wrote it purposely, but it's not like, I don't know, dude. Like, it's still a great song. I would still put that on in a bar or something.
But when you look at what they got, it's like, oh, okay, I get it.
Right, and look at the album that just dropped. It's like one of their best albums of all time, dude. Like, I'm not the biggest Coheed stan. Like, I do thoroughly enjoy their music, but that album is just like chef's kiss, top tier.
Yeah. I agree.
It's easily going to be one of the best albums of the year. Like, just front to back, extremely, extremely refreshing. But yeah, dude. I mean, like, we tried. The fact that this band and we say like magnum opus a little bit too much, but I know for a fact this is not our magnum opus. Like, whatever we have next, and I haven't heard some of the demos, but the confidence that we're getting in the group chat between Kevin Dentino and Anthony, can only imagine what we're doing.
So every time they do say that, it always lives up to the hype. So
It does. Yeah. Yeah, we hype ourselves out too much, and I'm guilty of that. You know what I mean?
I think sometimes you need that. Like, I think I know I've definitely had this thought or topic on the channel before, but it's kind of in the same lane as, like, people are like, oh, well, you know, why do you listen to your own band's music? And I was like, well, I mean, if you believe in your band enough, like, and you like the right songs that you wrote, like, I don't think there should be any issue as to, like, listening to your songs. And they're like, oh, well, do you watch all your, you know, do you rewatch some of your interviews? And I was like, oh, absolutely. I was like, why not? I was like, it's a cool period in my life, you know, that happened. And, you know, like, some of the interviews that I got, I was like, holy shit, can't believe I got that one. Like, and it's more like watching it back and being like, this actually happened. This is real life. Like, that's actually me on the video screen doing that in person or whatever. And that's great. I think that a lot of people, I guess more specifically in this scene, I would argue, is that, like, most people are like, oh, well, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I don't know if I'm not going to listen to my own music, and then have their arms crossed and are like, yeah, I don't like my music. I like my music, but, like, as soon as I'm done recording it and I go out and tour on it, that's it. Like, I'm done, you know? And I'm like, if it's a song that you wrote and you care about and is something that's important to you, like, realistically, no one should be stopping you from enjoying the entirety of it. You know, that's
totally agree, man.
That's just how it should be. Like, I think that we have to kind of break the stigma of bands enjoying their own music that they've written. Like, it just feels weird.
It also requires you to be, I feel like I'm my own toughest critic with the stuff I do.
Sure.
And I'm anything I've ever written personally, with obviously doing this now, like, I'm very hyper aware of what I think sounds good. And not to say, like, I have, like, this, because there's stuff I think that doesn't sound great and everybody loves it, and there's stuff that I think sounds bad or whatever. So I've, like, kind of what you're saying is, if you're writing stuff that is, like, if you put a lot of effort into it, and it moves you, why wouldn't you listen to it? If you have, like, that emotional charge that you get from listening to a song that gives you that same, like, fire in your soul, like, that's the only way I can describe it. When I hear stuff that moves me emotionally, like, I've listened to the same songs for like 20 years. It doesn't get old. And there's some songs that, like, we've done with this that I have to go back and listen to it sometimes, and I'm like, I can't believe that we did that. I can't believe that's us doing that. And I'm proud of it. And, you know, I'm proud to show it off to other people too. As long as they want to hear it, I'm not going to force it on you. But it's so amazing to hear that. And, like, I don't think anybody should feel dirty about listening to your own songs. Like, if you're going to be, like, forcing it on people, would be like, you got to listen to my band. Man. Like that's a different story. But, like, you should be proud of what you do. Because you want to give, especially if you want to be professional about it, you want to give the most top tier representation of your creativity as possible. And if you are doing that, you should like what you're listening to.
Sure. No, I agree with that. And I don't know if George wants to tack on to the question at hand, but You
don't
know.
know. I listen to our album all the time. I love it. I can't wait for it to come out. I am so happy and blessed that I'm able to promote this.
Yeah, yeah.
So I am having like a free range. So it keeps me busy and it keeps me out of trouble. So
Sure.
I really am thankful for
Lord knows we got to keep you out of trouble.
Always.
dude.
I'm always
Yeah,
texting.
like, you know
I'm
how, like,
always texting
I'm
this
hanging
dude.
down by the river too much with like the radioactive like fish that live near. So
Well, think of George as like the cat in the office. Like you just like you got to keep like picking him up and pulling him, putting him over here.
Yeah, that's this cat in my yeah.
That's George.
Literally and metaphorically speaking.
yeah, that's literally
Petunia
George.
is-
We're on the other side. Like
The cat
Yeah,
is
it's-
currently looking at me right now. I'm like, yeah, it's you.
Who,
It's about you.
Meatball?
Yeah, it's
no,
you.
this is Petunia, the mom cat.
Petunia.
Yeah.
Where's Meatball?
He's in the off. He's out.
He's
Not in the
behaving.
office. Yeah, this
Okay.
they fight. So I'll leave it.
That's
I'll
right,
leave
you
it.
told me
I'll leave it
that.
at that. I'll leave it at
I
that.
think my favorite part is that, like occasionally like we'll have like a little silence and then all you hear is like a little
Yep.
cat meow.
Also,
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
like come up here, and I currently have like my coffee drink over here, and she just like I don't know what she wants. That's what I'm trying to figure out. But anyway, we're going completely off topic. The cat
yeah,
is,
right.
we just want to know, just if you could surmise this in one point, it's basically that this cat is George, and now we're just gonna call it George throughout this entire interview. But I think that I'm very excited to see what you guys have coming. How was it recording it in the studio? Because I feel like, obviously the times that have been going right now have been interesting, to say the least. But, how was that recording process? Like, I feel like in terms of time frame, I was trying to figure out how long, and George probably can clarify this, how long it had been since you guys recorded, like, new music at that point. Because I think... Yeah, because Golden Field came out in 2017, and then you guys went back into the studio in 2021.
It's like we released two songs. We released two songs in a year difference. So like 2019, 2000 or 2020, 2021,
Yeah,
2022. So
2021.
3 years later, we were technically supposed to come out with an album, but COVID complications.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Frightbox, Bobby Torres was probably one of the absolute goat, dude. Like, was just so quick. Our energy vibed with him so well. Like, literally walking into that studio to record. I'm not gonna speak for Zach, but recording percussion for it, dude. It was like the most flawless.
He's a genius.
Process ever. He let me do what I wanted. I experimented a little bit. I wasn't rushed. I didn't feel rushed. I felt comfortable. Dude, and like and you heard the song, so like the tones he really brought through, and the communication that we've had with him with the whole final mix was just so easy. And
honestly, George, I think your parts are going to be the highlight of the album.
No way, dude.
I do, dude.
Not.
I'm
No, you're only talking about
one
one song. No, dude. Zach is obsessed with this one fill I did in Sarah. And dude, he was just, or no, Luna, and he was just like, oh, can you do that all the time?
Dude,
and then
we all were obsessed.
I know, but Anthony's like, play it again, like just to fuck with me, and I did it. Like, it's so easy, dude. It's just ghost notes. It's just double ghost notes on the
it's gross.
Hi hat and snare, but
gross,
dude, it's
what it is.
It's cool, but like the freedom that we've all had and collaborating with Bobby was probably one of the best processes of recording an album I've personally ever had. So shout out to that motherfucker.
He's also got a great YouTube channel too.
Woo!
Yeah, Frightbox Recording is on YouTube.
So he does DAW like tips and tricks and stuff like that, and he does walkthroughs on how to record certain sounds. Like he does some pretty incredible work about how to like mic up a kit properly, workarounds and stuff like Pro Tools. I think he even does some Logic stuff.
Oh, very cool. Okay.
So definitely, I don't know anything about that stuff, but I find it so interesting that I watch it from time to time. I'm like, yeah, it just feels like we're in the studio again with Bobby. It's great. Yeah, like George said, I mean, it was great, pretty easy. I got my stuff done pretty quickly, so that was pretty painless. I loved hanging out in the studio every time somebody had to do some parts. If I can make it and sit up there, I would love to hang out, and we had a great time. There is a funny story though, and nobody knows it but me and Bobby. I told the story to everybody. Yeah, so it's in like this giant World War II era warehouse, right? And it was like a rainy day, and I think Dentino and Kevin were on their way to the studio, but I had gotten there early, and I was laying down my parts for Blossom of all things, and all of a sudden, like you would never find the studio unless you were directed on how to get to the studio, because there's thousands of rooms in this building, right?
That is true.
And all of a sudden, there's this big Russian guy that knocks on the door in the middle of me recording my parts with like his wife, and he just says, "You record my wife?" And he looked at him, and I assumed that they know each other, because how else would he know where this room is? And Bobby goes, "Hey, no, call me later because I'm busy right now. I'm on the clock. They're paying for this right now." And he's like, just kept asking the same question. So shuts the door, he walks away, and he looks at me, and I look at him, and he goes, "Do you know him?" And I said, "No." And I was like, "I thought you knew him." And he goes, "No." He goes, "That was the weirdest thing I've ever experienced in my life. Because how else would he find that place?" And he just walked away, never talked to him again. And that was that. And that was like just like some random thing that happened. It was incredible. I cannot encapsulate how weird that experience was.
What?
Exactly. You got to ask him about it, dude. It's insane.
Dude, that's like going to Gettysburg and someone's like, "Here's a gift," and they hand you a bullet and like a war outfit, and then they disappear into the fog. Like that's what that reminds me of.
I'm
dude.
not sure.
Like, that's like a story like that.
It might have just been an apparition. It could have been just complete like haunted. I mean, he likes horror movies, and it's a very scary vibe in that studio. So.
Oh, I love that.
So maybe that was it.
With the pull-out beach umbrella table in the corner and pineapple. Yeah. You know what I mean? Dude, and you know what's so weird, Brandon? So like this only happened with our albums, and we've only had 2, obviously. So every time, and so we're on a streak right now, but every time we're like literally, I think maybe 2 or 3 takes from finishing the album entirely and calling it like, a session or a process, something happens. When we were with Bruce Wagner at his place in Bucks County with Golden Fields, dude, like the power went off. We couldn't go back to the studio for 2 weeks, maybe a week and a half. And then with Bobby, the fire alarm set off. So Kevin was literally on his last octave.
Dude, we had like a bottle of champagne ready to go.
We popped it. We're drinking. Kevin's doing just small or just trying to fill in the voids where they need to be. And the fire alarm goes off, and dude, that thing was fucking loud.
Oh my god!
We didn't go back for another week. Bobby's like, "God damn it!" I was like, "This is weird, dude."
We would go back in, it would shut off, and then it would start over again, and it was terrible.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh no!
Fuck, man. I don't know. Poeta's got like a weird ghosty vibe.
I feel like you should have just added it into one of your songs as just like
we thought about it.
We did. You could hear it in the he deleted it, but you could hear it. It got through.
I was gonna say that would have been a cool little Easter egg to have on the record. Just not too many people know about it, but if you know, kind of a thing. So
bro.
You know, man.
You know.
But it's
great
cool.
Process.
I'm like I said, I think the thing about it is just with your music, thus far, I'm gonna be excited to listen to Blossom, because I got that that exclusive link, but I'm really excited to see what you guys have coming up. Were there any particular bands that you guys had in mind when recording that you guys were influenced by that kind of evolved your sound for this new record coming out?
George, you want to go with that? I'll go. My tastes are actually pretty different from the rest of the band. I'm more of I like older stuff. So
okay.
My biggest influence.
Classic.
Yeah, I'm my first concert when I was 10 was Earth, Wind, and Fire. So I've
that's great.
So
that's great. That's great.
I'm not gonna lie, I use that as a pretty good flex.
Yeah, that is. I just went to Earth, Wind, and Fire. Not a big deal, man. Just one of the sickest bands of all time. Whatever.
Yeah, right.
Timeless songs.
Oh my god.
So oddly enough, the people I like to channel, and you might not really hear it in the way I play because it's not like I don't feel the need to ever be complicated.
Sure.
Because I think, especially with bass, I feel I feel it's too much of a foundational piece to. I could sacrifice my ego to play I'll play one note if I have to. If it serves the song, because this band's so damn talented, I don't like, as long as everybody else is thriving, that means I'm thriving. So,
yeah, I got you.
But the people I think about when I'm playing, when I write my pieces, is Justin Chancellor from Tool, Steve Harris from Iron Maiden.
Nice.
And on the complete other side of it, like guys like Victor Wooten, like those are my favorites. So, but for this, I think like mostly what I was thinking about is just like taking all those people, even like a guy like Pino Palladino from John Mayer Trio.
Yep.
I think, oddly enough, that's the guy I kind of think about when I'm doing stuff like this, is that he has the most iconic bass parts and he doesn't need to shine, but the people that really listen to what he's doing, they'll understand the importance of what he's doing. And like, that's all I need. I'd rather be simple, let these guys do what they got to do, because that's my job. I'm here to make them sound better. And I think I did a pretty good job with that. I think everybody did some really amazing things, so I'm pretty proud of it.
Dude, you're literally the perfect piece of this puzzle. Like, I'm not kidding, dude. Like, and we had like a drinking interview on Limelight somewhere, and celebrating Zach being in the band, and Anthony's like, I thought we were here for Zach's birthday. And I was like, this motherfucker.
Well, no, and don't forget the other part of that. You told me, because I was doing interviews with you at the time. He goes, yo, I got the guy from Ram Ranch. We're gonna interview the Ram Ranch guy. And I was like,
I got him all.
Okay, Brandon,
him up, dude. Just lied straight to his face. That was like the one lie I pulled out of my pocket. I was like, he's gonna believe me through and through, because the amount of guests that we were so busy. He's not even gonna fucking.
He's not gonna.
Dude, I didn't even bat an eye to it. I was like, there's no way this would be a lie. It's too legit.
It's too legit, man.
But dude, sound wise, I don't know, man. Like, all the three of us, and Zach still has a little influence in it too, which is I think it's like subliminal into the creativity he puts into the music. Yeah. But like this scene music, like the early emo pop punk stuff, like is definitely like embedded in all of us one way or another. So I mean, like, MCR saved my life and will always be an influence for me. But I mean, and got me into this industry. But dude, like, I don't know, man. Like we are at this point of maturity where we are collectively having a self-discovery of one another and of each other, just to put out what we think would be our best material every time. So it's fascinating. It's a fascinating process. Like, we don't take bands and songs like, I want to, like, we do say like, oh, we're listening, like I'm listening to Turnstile, like, or I'm listening to Protest the Hero, or I'm listening to this and that, but I'm not physically taking sound from it and putting it into the music that we're writing. It's just something that we just have a talk about. Kevin always brings it up. What are we listening to? And it's like a really good, like, healthy, I guess I would say like an exercise, just to like kind of get our mind set, like all in a communication purpose, where it's like, so what are we currently listening to, and how is it going to subliminally influence like what we're writing? But we are always trying to do our best to take whatever is given to us with a blueprint and then just completely work around it. So I don't know, man. It's so weird having four different people in this band that have extremely different
I was gonna say
views and loves for music. Like, we had a whole argument about like AC/DC. Like, half the band hates AC/DC. So I mean, like, like, it's so strange, dude. You should see the.
I want to guess and see which half I think hates it and which half I don't think hates it. Let me think about this.
I want to hear your guesses. I want to hear
it.
I think Kevin hates it. I'm gonna guess Kevin. That's I was gonna say that seems right. That seems right.
Brandon, he passionately like loathes them, dude.
Okay, like, I didn't think down. That. I just knew it didn't seem up his alley. So okay. So I'm one for one. All right, let me see. I don't think it's Zach. I don't think it's Zach because he was talking about Earth, Wind, and Fire. So I feel like he's a classic head. So I know it's not him.
All old stuff, man.
He's all old stuff. So it's a toss up between Dentino and George here.
Dude,
I'm gonna say Dentino hates it. That's my guess.
Was it Dentino?
I don't know.
Or is it you?
Or is it three?
I just don't care, dude.
Okay, so you're just apathetic. Yeah.
Yeah, but the one you hit on the head was Kevin. That's all that matters. But like, I don't remember. But I don't remember if it was me or Dentino. I would have to like call him.
Well, George, you could. It's not like you have to like call yourself. You can just make that determination right now.
But it's like I don't.
Yeah, I was gonna say like you were like, oh, I don't know, and I was just like, you told me if half the group hates them and half of it doesn't, and then you're like, no, I don't know, man.
Well, I don't know.
That's
like,
now it's three. Now I'm three. I could have get at least if I knew that, then I would have guessed you too. But
all right, dude, it's my fault.
It's your fault.
Everything's my fault. I don't know.
It's all right.
I think Anthony doesn't mind them, but I won't put that on. No.
I think
Dentino
you and
appreciates
Dentino are in the camp that are just like, okay, they're they're classics, but like I don't really, like I'm not one way or the other. Kevin like absolutely hates AC/DC, and then I feel like Zach's like I kind of more like love them low key.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
Well, dude, they do the thing on bass that like I kind of talk about is like it's simple, and like the
That's
emphasis
true.
on
That's
simple.
true.
And like I love bands that do that. I think it's incredible, but I can see why people hate it.
Overplayed football stadium.
Oh my
like,
god.
Oh, yeah,
anthem songs.
it's definitely like it's a little bit more it's more higher tier dad rock.
Okay.
I don't want to
Okay.
insult it by calling dad rock. It's a little bit better than that, but it's definitely in that vein of dad
I wouldn't
rock.
disagree. I wouldn't disagree.
To be honest, I would love for Stella to be like on the same platform as AC/DC, and people be like, I fucking hate that solo every time I'm at a goddamn Sixers game. Like, that, I would love for that to happen, dude. You just hear, and you hear, and people are like, fuck this song,
Here it is.
dude.
Every time.
Every time. God,
Dude,
it doesn't even
oh
hype
my
me up.
God.
Like, this song's not even good. They're just a bunch of bald, hairless looking people.
Bald hairless.
Yeah, I like that the band is half and half, though, half hair, and then half beard, no hair.
It's true. You and Kevin are super handsome, whereas
And we both wear glasses, too,
Nah.
which is even funnier.
That is weird.
Yeah.
It's like a
Everyone's
parallel.
hot.
It's
Everyone's
yin
hot in
yang thing.
Poeta. I'm confirming that.
We're a hot band.
Yeah, you're a
you know?
hot band.
Yeah,
This
we're
is a
band-
hot girl summer band here, guys. Just you heard it here first.
Dude.
Hot girl summer family band is what
I'm
we're
Hot
so mad I
girl
don't have
summer
these
family.
much.
Hot family band. There you go.
Hot
That's it.
family summer band.
Yeah.
Hot band summer.
I wouldn't
Well,
mind
we're gonna work out the
Hot band
details
summer.
on that one, but it's coming out, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah, and it'll be
Yeah.
trademarked before this comes out. So good luck.
Good
luck.
luck, any other band.
Good luck any other band.
I feel like you guys just even knowing I know how talented Dentino is on the guitar, and I know we've had multiple conversations about playing guitar, and then obviously I've hung out at George's place and we've chatted about music a ton. And Kev, I don't really talk too much about music, but I know he's also equally as talented, and just kind of getting an idea of your background, Zach, too. I think that you got an immense amount of talent there, certainly too. But I think that you guys all collectively have something unique that you bring to the table, but then ultimately come up with something that I don't think, like, if I looked at all of your, like, if I took each individual person and I said these are the top 5 bands that influenced them, and I put it all into like a fucking generator or some shit, and then like spit out like a genre, I'd be like, yep, that was not what I was thinking, like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be clear, it's like Coheed story so far. So
Sure,
we
sure,
just say
sure.
that for relevance. Like we say that like if people want to check out our band, I'm like, this is who we normally listen
Yeah,
to.
like, I
And
think-
you can take some parts from it and put it in our music.
I think like with Dentino's stuff, like for me as being a guitar player myself, like I always try to like look for his like leads and stuff, because I'm so interested on how he like comes up with them and like crafts them, and I'm like, man, he must really be influenced by like math rock and like those really like
He's
weird
all
like
over the place.
weird like jazz fusion kind of shit going on. And I think it always interests me as a player, because I'm like both equally impressed, but also like look at my guitars and I'm like, shit, well, I'm not picking you up this week, that sucks. But, like, and I think it's cool because it just makes it more impressive. And then like you listen to like the like kind of the base layer of everything, and you're like, this is just still equally as good. It might seem like a little bit more simplified or whatever it may be, but I think just like the way that the song is structured, the way that kind of you guys go through the meticulous process of like trying to put things and like being like, okay, well, this verse is cool, like what can we do in the like pre-chorus to chorus that would be interesting, and then can we make like verse 2 like slightly different than verse 1 or whatever, you know. And I think that there's a lot of thought that is put into it that I think an average person might overlook, but somebody that is like either a musician or really heavily like loves music might be like, oh shit, this is like a really cool lead guitar part that wasn't on the first verse, or like this chorus is just slightly different and I like that, you know. I think that's what's going to make it really interesting, and I'm hoping that some of the songs that are going to be, you know, going down the pipeline will be, you know, kind of in that lane, or maybe even, you know, maybe even more out there in terms of like,
for sure.
I guess barometer, you know, comparatively to like Golden Fields. How do you guys feel like you guys expanded your sound that much more from like the previous work? Because I feel like, you know, obviously with the inclusion of Zach, it's going to be different, but like, you know, obviously with George being kind of, you know, one of the, you know, original members here in the, you know, the video chat right now, you know, you guys feel like this sound just kind of like went that much further out now because you have, you know, Zach in the band, and obviously have different influences from the time you wrote Golden Field to now?
1,000%. And mature is the only word to describe it. It's just more mature. It's more mature. It's more personal. Just all around like a very well thought out process with how we went by each song.
Sure.
We took it with, and we took a lot of care and consideration with it. Golden Fields, we were a little younger, antsy. I was definitely antsy because I knew how special, like what we have, like how special it was. So I was just like, I just wanted to get out of my garage. Like, I don't want to be in this garage like running anymore. I just want to get out. And then good things happen. But in general, dude, the whole process, the whole writing creativity is more mature. It's more well written, more structured, more personal. It's been, and with like, you know, with Zach being in this band, like it just makes it so much easier. In all aspects.
Zach, what do you got?
Yeah, I definitely think it's, again, like that's how I characterize part of that album is it's and you'll hear it when you do hear it in the way that it is constructed, because we purposely built it in a way where it does take a different, it shifts, right?
Sure, yeah.
And you'll know when that shift occurs on the album, and it does take a turn, and it's something that this band's never done before, and I love it. It definitely turns up the dial. I know what we've talked about, like for the future, is I think what we'd like to accomplish with in the future is that for some reason it always comes up with the talk of, we want to do like more riff centric stuff. And like I'm totally on board with that.
It's about the riffs, man.
I think that might be something that we experiment with, because we're starting to do stuff now. Like we were talking about how Dentino and Kevin have already gotten together and they've had some ideas, and I know that what they've talked about is like, let's get some riff centric stuff, because a lot of this stuff isn't riff based. It's very, there's just a lot of space in these songs, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So I think we want to try and see what it feels like, but definitely I think if I can characterize it with a phrase, it would be turning up the dial is what this album does. Right. If you think about it in terms of like a storyboard, it's like the beginning of this album was, hey, Poeta's back, and then it slowly increases the dial, and then it sends you off, right, for the next thing. So
I told you he was good, dude. I told you it was good.
All right. Well,
that's exactly how it is.
I'm just gonna call it here, guys. In terms of the thing that you guys should come back on to do, you should come back on once the album's like released. You should do a live track by track with me, and
we'll sit down on this couch
each song
all together.
We do each song one by one live. We'll be going through it. I'm gonna pride myself on not listening to any more of the singles, so I can just like blind react to the rest of it.
Pretty incredible.
That's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing.
Dude.
That's what I've been. I mean, listen, I love Poeta, so that's gonna be. I feel like they're gonna have me chained up to this wall, fucking. You know, not gonna be able to listen to it.
Dude, you have been like one of like the top supporters and like just like someone who thoroughly enjoys our music, who like actually invests time and thought into us. I mean, like, you recorded our whole debut album live.
I did,
Like,
yeah,
Game Changer, dude.
Woo!
Like, our whole
Game
set
Changer
is
World.
live, dude. Like, true MVP right here,
Oh,
dude.
thank you.
Like, God, that was
ages.
So long.
Now I feel so old. I feel like I'm
I
feel like I'm gonna be fucking Tim Allen and have like gray, I'm gonna immediately start to grow a bunch of gray hair.
Oh my god.
But yeah, no, I think it just goes to show that if anything, like, you know, the friendships and, you know, relationships I've had with people here and doing this, and, you know, I don't want anything to be taken for granted, you know, because it could be gone tomorrow, you know. But you know, I appreciate that there are bands out there, and there will always continue to be bands out there that are putting out fantastic music that maybe just don't have, you know, the backing behind it to really like push. And so I'm gonna do everything in my damn power to like get those bands out there for other people to listen to, because if I'm fucking hyped about it, then y'all should be hyped about it. That's all I'm saying. You know, but it's cool. I think that you know, I think that people need that, you know. There's like, you know, even Zach was talking about earlier, just like you always need that one person that's like that positive force that, like, you know, will be like, listen, like, you could give you, like, I don't want to say like positive in like a, like, tell you what you want to hear kind of positive, but like tell it to you honestly and be like, yo, listen, like, love the song, but maybe you should try this, or maybe something like this isn't like really jiving with me. Maybe there's something different that, like, you know, with future music you guys can maybe work on. Like, I've had people send me demos and stuff, and they're like, what do you think about this? And I'm like, I'll listen, like, actually listen to it and get back to it and be like, yeah, I liked it, but maybe this verse could be different, or like, you know, you got the one vocal line here, maybe like a harmony would be really cool if you added that in there to add a little bit more like depth to the song or whatever, you know. And I think that people appreciate that there's a level of honesty to it, but also not like where I'm just like, oh yeah, this is fucking sick, I love it, you know. Like, you could say that, and that's great, don't get me wrong, there are people that say that sort of stuff, but I think there's an importance to being like, this is a good song, but I think it could be better. And I think that I think if you're always constantly trying to like help someone up their game, you know, musically, then do it. Like, I think that if anything, it will help them, you know, like, even if they don't get it, they're like, yeah, man, that fucking sucks, why did you say that, you know? Like, at least they'll be like, at least you know that you have said it honestly to them and said, like, this is what I feel like should change. And if they do it, great. If they don't, then that's fine too. I'm not in your band, you know, like, I don't make those decisions for you, but, you know, at least I'm telling you, like, this is what I feel like might work best for you. And you listen, this metaphorically speaking, here you go, pass that off to you now.
Right.
You know, like, that you do what you want. And I feel like, I know George has asked me a couple times about Poeta stuff, and I'm like, this slaps. I feel like I
appreciate that.
And I'm like, you know, I don't really feel like there's much to change, because I know Dentino, I know Kev hold it down, so I know that they got the strong writing chops, you know, so I'm not really concerned. But I feel like sometimes, you know, everybody needs that, like, just that little thing where you're like, oh, thanks, Brandon, here you go, like, you know, like, here you go, bud, like, this is great, I love it, you know. I know I need that personally sometimes, you know, not even for like my ego to be in check or whatever, but I feel like sometimes it's just like, man, my day sucks, and then someone's like, dude, love your, you know, I love your interview with this person, and then I'm like, man, my whole day's like 20 times better.
It makes such a difference, man. It really
dude, perfect example. Hold on, go ahead, keep continuing. But I have a perfect example for that real quick.
But like, yeah, and then, you know, then you get comments like, you know, everyone's hairless in your band, and then, you know, that also is great too. But that's just great in a like completely like hilarious way that I'll never unsee it.
That was good for
I was gonna say that's good for the clips. Good for the clips, baby.
That was good for the
Twitter's for the streets.
Twitter, that's a good.
That's how I
You
look
should
at
just
Twitter.
get
Twitter's for the
Dentino.
streets.
Honestly, the next show, Dentino should just dress up as a naked mole rat, and then we'll be great. You know, that would be the ultimate. That'd be the ultimate like
And he's gonna wear a shirt that has like the text
meme.
print of that comment.
I just want to do that one meme where I don't know who the actors are. I'm trying to remember who the actors were. I'm pretty sure it was it was one of the Jonas Brothers. I know he did this meme. But basically, it was like somebody made a Twitter comment, and then he took a photo of that Twitter comment and wore it as a shirt, and then the other person that they were tweeting with took a photo of that photo and put it on another shirt. So it was just like this giant, like, fucking Twitter meme, like, thread joke. So I just want to be on that level. Then I'll know Then I'll know at that point my life is complete, and you know, I've made it on here.
So
on YouTube.
I was making content. I was making content all day yesterday. So before I went to bed, like, you know, I like sighed, had a cheesesteak.
Ooh, nice.
You know, I drank a couple White Claws because that's all I have. And I gotta watch my weight. Stoic. And then I went to bed. So I woke up and like went to the bathroom real quick. I think it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I actually like looked at the comments on our YouTube, and this one person said, "This is fucking batshit insane." Quotes, "Fuck yeah." And I was like, here we go. So I got up and started making content again. Like, that just pushed me. I don't know why, dude. Like, it's just like that comment like literally thrived me at 3:30 in the morning. I was like, I'm not going to bed after this bathroom break. Like, I've been up since 3:30.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know, dude. Like, but I think it's great to have a full collective group like love and appreciation for this album. We want people. We are trying to get that opportunity to put it out there to give people, give it a chance to people. So if they like it, they like it. They don't, they don't. But we love it, and that's all we can take from it. Which is what every band should definitely do: is write music that you love, like to do, like that you want to put out there.
100%. Like, cause you could tell what, like, cause I've seen you guys play. Obviously not with Zach, but I'm sure Zach brings the heat live. You know, I have no doubt. You know, zero doubt in my mind. You know, but I know I've definitely seen Poeta play multiple times, and you can just tell there's like a level of like fun and love and like just happiness that is on that stage that you're just like this. Like, I don't even fucking know this band, or maybe you do, whatever. Like, you can tell like they love being up on stage and they want to just rock it, you know. And I think that also, I think that's just as important as like as talking to someone else this past week about like being friends. Actually, the band, I'll give a shout out, Loose End, they're from Australia, big shouts to them. But you know, I was talking about being friends before you are in a band. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you live with these people, like, especially if you're a touring band, you fucking live with these people out on the road for multiple day stretches, you know, like weeks maybe, you know. And I think there's a level to like, can you guys still remain friends, you know, after all of the, you know, like when crazy shit happens or whatever, you know what I mean? And I think with you guys, like, you know, even with Zach from just this interview, like, I can be like, yeah, I feel like Zach's not going to be like, you know, I feel like Zach's going to be like, you know, the cool cucumber in the conversation. I mean, that's
the bass player, man. That's the typical bass player.
Cool cucumber, like dad of the band, like all around, just absolutely necessary. And ever since he joined, we've had a lot of good luck. So I tell his wife, like, I'm like, dude, he's like my lucky little rabbit foot.
Aww,
like, my pocket.
what a cutie.
I carry him around wherever I go if I gotta do something. I'm like, come on, man, let's go to Lancaster. He's like, okay. And then we go, and then it's a good time, and you know, things happen.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we're very fortunate. This is the best the band's ever been, and I think after COVID and everything has been going on in this fucking cruel world, no matter how bad it gets and how bad it's getting, we are thankful that we are in a position to take an opportunity to put that step out there and maybe have it become full time. So we'll see.
There we go. Well, another question I have for you guys, you know, gotta have some fun questions thrown in the rotation. You know, we were talking real heavily about the new record, so I feel like you gotta have some, you know, some one-off questions that you know gotta know the answer on. So, you know, keeping it current, guys, what are you listening to right now? What's on the Spotify? What you guys been jamming recently?
What was I listening? Because I was driving down to Wildwood yesterday. What was I listening to yesterday? I'm like in a the thing I've been listening to the most is Corey Wong.
Oh, nice. Yes.
Specifically, and it's been like months I've been listening to it. It's his version of meditation on, it's like this ferry boat on YouTube.
Oh, yes, I've seen that.
But the
Oh,
mix is so
It's
good.
so good for
Oh,
being on a
so
boat. I was
good.
like, no way. I was like, this is. And he's like, dude, you have to watch this, and I
Oh
was
my God.
mesmerized.
Corey
Yeah,
Wong's
that-
wild.
I've been listening to that and listening to the new Coheed album. That was pretty good. And Shaky Graves as well.
Ooh, okay,
yeah,
all right,
yeah.
all right.
So a little bit all over the place.
Yeah,
But
holy shit, nice.
yeah.
Yeah,
George?
I'm going through my stuff. I'm all messed up because I just refreshed a lot of my playlists, so it's all like misfits. But no, definitely the Coheed album. Magnolia Park's new EP came out.
Nice, yeah.
Turnstile.
Yeah.
Protest. Who else? I'm just trying to think of bands I just put on. That Landmarks album that we talked about, I still put
Yes.
that on. Dude, it's just so.
They released like a
underrated.
deluxe version, I'm pretty sure.
They did. And
Yeah.
It's got a bunch of features. The new Outline Color song with Michael from Fox Air is awesome. And Stand Atlantic. I've been listening all over the place, dude. Even a little bit of Covet just to like show me out. I'm like really busy like behind the computer screen. Like I think that is like a subliminal meditation for me as I'm just telling. Like, but yeah, I mean like, dude, and sometimes I'm finding out where I could just like hit shuffle on some of my playlists and just fall in love with some new bands. So, but those are the ones that I currently put on.
So I go to school, right? So I was in a class and there was this younger guy, because I'm like the older college student now. Such a weird experience. And I'm in this class and there's like this younger guy and he's like 18, just out of high school. We're in this class together and like I could, you know how like you could just always spot like a musician, like I just
yep, you get that aura. Like, yeah, I got you.
I got you. Guitar or something? He's like, yeah, and I'm like, of course. So we started talking, and he showed me this band called Khruangbin. Have you ever heard of them? It's KHRUANGBIN. Yeah, man, they're like they're like just like not a jam band. That's like kind of a slight, but it's strictly instrumentals for the most part. Maybe they have like a little bit of like vocal harmonies to it, but man, check them out if you like. Just the way I think about it, I can see it being in like a Quentin Tarantino driving scene as like the score.
Oh, all right.
Specifically like the song White Gloves or August 12. I've been listening to that on repeat when I drive.
Huh. All right. I'll have to give
it out.
I'll have to give it a listen. The thing that I've just been crushing right now has been the new Drugs record. That is wildly good.
I haven't given it a shot.
It's so good.
I've heard a couple songs and I thoroughly love it.
Oh my god!
Thank you for reminding me to go listen to that.
Man, that is a must. That album I've been crushing. I like that. Realistically, has been one that I've been listening to a ton.
We missed him.
Craig Owens, if you were watching this somehow, please, I would love to have you on.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I've also been listening to a lot of I've been anticipating DGD's new album, but I wish they could just take Tillion's vocals off and just like put somebody else on. Like, you know how easy that is? Like, I don't know what the
like vocal stems. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, like literally take Tillion off the album. Like,
I would
release Pop Off. I don't.
Yeah,
care.
nothing's out. Might as well do it.
I would have loved to just have Andrew at the front. Come on. Forget about
it. Let's just do like a whole like toxic fucking front line of vocalists. Let's get Johnny Craig, Tyler Carter, and fucking Tillion all on the album.
Well, listen. So to be fair, from what I heard, because they're doing the tour again, but they are having Kurt do the vocals for that Dance Gavin Dance tour.
A couple songs, I think.
Yeah,
I
thought it was select songs. And
I thought he was doing the whole. I thought he was just doing the whole like set. That's from what I heard.
That'd be great. That'd be fantastic.
Everybody was like in the comments like, get Kurt back. And I'm like,
it's not gonna stop, dude.
I'm not gonna argue because Kurtz was my favorite DGD vocalist. So I'm like, please, just I don't have to put my token in because everybody fucking else did. So, but
well, they have two big staples. They have Kurt's era and Mothership. Mothership was the album that pushed them.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
Kurt
yeah.
was also the one that put them in the scene as a staple. It's like, oh, this self-titled album is absolutely phenomenal.
I mean, Andrew, I gotta give credit. I have to give major credit to Andrew of Idola, and now obviously a part of DGD. But he is wildly talented. So if he took the front of DGD, I would not complain about that. I'd be okay with that.
Have him do that, and then have Sergio play bass, and like
done.
That'd be so sick.
Clean.
Sergio.
Sergio's in like 20 bands. That's okay. Why don't we just add him to another one? Oh my god. But yeah, I do gotta say, New Drugs record, all fantastic. And then I also gotta give a shout outs to Limbs. They released a new EP, and it is like new Beartooth. Like this is what I thought. Like if Beartooth, like, no offense to their last record because it was pretty solid, but like if you wanted to figure out what Beartooth was going to be putting out after the like Sick EP, like the first EP he did with Beartooth, like this is where it would be at. I feel like this is like the missing link between like that EP and like where Beartooth would have went. But I love them. They're great. So big shout outs to the Limbs. They're always like killing it, and hopefully they'll probably be back on at some point. I'll have to just message their team, but they're killing it. They're great.
Yeah, they're still on UNFD too, which is awesome.
They are. UNFD's just Unified's nuts. They've got a great bunch of bands, but
North Lane, like the best Australian bands on there.
Killing it. But the next question I have for you guys, another fun one. If you guys were to compile a dream tour lineup, who would be on it?
Oh shit.
Including Poeta. I just want to let you know.
Including Poeta? Oh my god. George, you go. I answered first.
I remember asking George this. I remember asking George this in like I think the first interview. It was definitely the first interview.
Did.
Yeah.
Definitely did.
But now we're doing the updated version.
Yeah, I want to see if it's still the same. I'll go back and check it out. MCR is headlining.
I think you did pick that. I'm pretty
sure.
He's
co-headlining. Okay. I don't think I picked that.
I don't think you did that. No.
I want to give like 2 more bands out there.
All right.
MCR, Coheed,
and then I want to
do. Fuck. I'm trying to like my marketing brain's like trying to think like what would make sense, but this is just a dream lineup. MCR, Coheed, and Sayerson, like us 4 on a lineup. I would, bro, put me in a 6-foot hole. I'm done with life. Like that's great. I don't need to do anything else anymore. Like that. I've lived my best.
George
life.
has peaked.
I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was kind of going the same way. Coheed was the first I thought of for like, what would be like the one that makes the most sense. Coheed and Sayerson.
That doesn't make sense.
For me, like to be selfish, if I had to pick, I
pick him up.
I think I would definitely pick. George would never go on this tour, but I would want to go on tour with Tool, and I want to like have it be so weird though. I want a band that makes no sense. On this I want like who could I get that would make no sense? That would be so sick. Like Tool, and then
Tool, probably Tool.
Yeah, then Perfect Circle. Dude, I don't know.
Like, did I say Tool?
No, I love lineups like that where it doesn't make any sense.
Oh yeah, where it's just like batshit crazy lineup. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know why, but the thing that always comes to mind for me is like I always tell George this. I was never a Linkin Park fan until I saw them live. Yeah, right. So true. I know, right? So I saw them live in 2012 in Camden. But I went to go see Incubus because they were co-headlining together, and Incubus played first. Yeah, and then all the people I was there with, they were like, "We got to stay to watch Linkin Park." I was like, "I don't want to see Linkin Park," because I was convinced they couldn't sound that good live. Like I was just like such like I was like a D-bag about it, right? I was like, okay, I'll sit down and watch. 30 seconds into it, I would hook, line, and sinker. I was in. Became
dude. It's how good were they, dude? And Chester's vocals were phenomenal.
it was the best live performance I've ever seen from a band in my life. From
because
the
I think
lawn
This to
at-
Midnight was like out around that time too.
Yeah,
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually, there you go, George. How about that? Coheed, Seosin, Incubus, Poeta. Because that's a comp we've been getting, is that everybody's been saying it gives me Incubus vibes.
Yo, you know what? That's so we were gonna have I don't even know if Rory's gonna be a thing anymore. Rory was into being a guest vocalist on one of our songs, but it's not happening. I don't think anymore.
No, there's not enough.
Not on Rory's side. Not on Rory's side. We're broke. So
that would have been wild.
He's throwing us a bone. Like it's really nothing that bad. But he said the one song he was going to feature on gave us Incubus vibes. I was like, that is such a compliment.
Which is also my favorite song on the album. So I was like,
oh yeah.
Oh man, that would have been sick.
But yeah, no, I know he was down. He was like Incubus vibes. So yeah, we throw all Incubus. Zach, that would logically work.
I think that would be pretty cool. You have Coheed and Incubus is like.
I mean that, yeah.
And it's pretty different. You know what I mean? So like East Coast, West Coast vibes.
All right, yeah.
So I think that would be my Coheed, Incubus, Seosin, and then us.
Nice. I like that. I can vibe with that. I'm about it.
What about you though? I need to hear yours though.
Ooh, all right. With you guys on it or just in general?
No, just in general.
Screw.
And of course, like just in general, it has to include us though.
Fuck. Dear Jesus, who would I really want to see?
Their drummer looks like a homeless guy.
He looks like that.
But I love that homeless guy, so it's okay.
Me too. He looks like that guy Ryan Fluff Bruce or something. Ribs and beard. He looks like that guy. Dude, the internet
really did go wild. They really did.
His videos like, oh my god, the allegations like finally are coming true. Like, yeah, dude, we do look alike. It's fine. We
need to have a worlds collide moment with that. You know, you guys.
I would love to be in the same room as him.
We have to do a band swap.
Yeah, you guys gotta do a band swap.
Like you know, Chad and Will when they did that drum off on that late night show. That's what I want to do.
That's it. That's gotta be it. Yeah, that's it. I love it.
Yeah.
Let me think. Wow, this is wild. Let me put it in perspective here. Wow, this is gonna be tough.
It is because, dude, he
I think I'm gonna just go like every band that I think is gonna be up and coming that I feel like are just killing it right now.
Dude, you're the fucking best.
So I'm gonna say the tour is gonna be. I would love for Loathe to headline because they're fucking smashing it, and I've seen them live I've seen them live. I think the 2 or 3 times that they've been in the States, and I've loved every single moment of seeing them live. So I'd say Loathe first. I would love to see Invent Animate again. They're fantastic, like genty metalcore kind of shit. If you're into that, we'll throw Thornhill on there because that new record Heroin is Bob City. So love it. And then to close out the tour, I loved watching Holding Absence on that Dayseeker tour. They were fucking wild. They were probably one of their drummer, George. Let me just tell you, this dude was on like some type of drug. I'm pretty sure. There's no fucking way. Like you listen to like I want to see George do. George needs to do a video on this on his podcast because if he doesn't, I'll be very upset with him. And I know George does not want to upset me, but I feel like George has to watch a Holding Absence music video and then watch the live version of that song with the drummer because my god, they're wildly different because this dude, because the dude will be like doing like the normal like beat of the song like in the music video, but live I don't know how the fuck he is able to fit fills in, but he does like was like God, it was like butter. He was just like so fluid with like he would be like he'd be doing like a hi-hat thing and then he'd be like and then get back into it without like missing anything. It was by far one of the like I was just standing there like watching them play, and I don't think my jaw just opened up and just stayed there for an entire 30 minutes because I was just so I was like, how do you do this?
After the gig, they were like, did you see that mouth breather just like in the crowd the entire time?
But then, like, the best part about it is, like, I don't know how he had the time, but he, like, would stand up and then have, like, his stick and be like, come on, like, I need more energy. I don't know how he did it. He was, like, he was wild. So, big shout outs to Holding Absence's drummer. He is, like, this dude is wild. Like, probably, I would argue he's probably one of the better scene drummers right now. I would say number one right now, because him and Lode's drummer are fucking wild. So, and then to close that out, I would say, so it would just be like a whole international tour, and then Static Dress would be the last band I would throw on there, because if you want to talk about like a great like emo post-hardcore band, Static Dress, that's the one that go check out. Definitely, they're gonna be big. I can foresee it.
How do you feel about Save Face?
Save Face is
good,
tight.
Like local, like they have MCR vibes for sure.
Well, then you'll like if you haven't heard Static Dress, I would definitely give them a listen.
Okay, for sure.
They're wild. They're great.
I just like seeing Jersey emo bands thriving. When they were on tour with the Wonder Years, just like,
yes,
let's take another one for the team in the state.
I've seen them play a couple times and they're great. So I'm waiting for their new material to come out because I think they got something brewing, from what I saw.
Oh, they have to.
They got some good shit coming. But
I would not doubt that.
That would probably be right now, currently, and that would probably be my tour. I just been really digging like the international bands. They just been rocking it now. So
Zach, I wrote that all down. So that will be our next tour.
All right, let's go in.
We know it's gonna work, so we're literally gonna take everything Brandon
Why
said.
wouldn't it work?
Go on tour.
Listen, guys, you go on Twitter and you tag Poeta and you tag like Coheed. You know, you just tag, all the Incubus, just tag all the homies. We're already friends with them.
That's how that stuff works, right?
That's how it works, yeah.
That's how this industry
legally, that's, that's how it works, So.
Right.
The next question I have for you guys, I haven't asked this one, so I'm testing this out, and I feel like I have to test it out on you guys, of course. A lot of bands have been doing, like, EP splits recently, and I've been really loving it. So if there was a band that you would love to like do a collab split like EP with, is there any bands that come to mind that you would love to just like do a split EP with?
For me, I think Dayseeker, honestly.
Whoa, I was thinking the same thing.
What?
Shut the fuck up.
Dude,
wow.
that
was cute.
In my mind immediately.
Dude, he's about to kiss me right now. You see that? There's just a screen here.
I'm sorry. I'm excited.
And you're wearing a Dayseeker hoodie, Kate.
And you are. Wow. Jeez.
I am wearing my Dayseeker.
You are wearing a Dayseeker.
Dude, I'm a Rory Rodriguez stan.
I am as well. Yes.
Yeah.
One of the most humble dudes ever. Like,
what a lovely guy.
I just think logically, like, with how they are with a evolved post-hardcore sound that is basically becoming more. I mean, they're eventually going to be a genreless band. I can't wait for this album to drop, especially by 21st Spirit Box.
Oh,
one of their songs.
Yeah.
But dude, if we did a collab EP, the amount, dude, there's just so much talent between. There would be so much talent between those two EPs. It would just be too easy, I think. I think it'd be too easy. And between Kevin and Rory, I think that would be a whole process in itself, just to have a discovery of one another's like range and to see where it would mesh, because Kevin has grit if he chooses to. He doesn't have to. He has that high tenor, but he can also be aggressive. And Rory already has like his range is out.
His range is lit,
well,
yeah.
And plus, lyrically, they're both very deep.
Dude, they're so emotional lyrically. Yeah. Kevin can be if he puts it to it. Like Styles pretty emotional, and so actually Blossom's more emotional in my opinion, but. Dude, I just think that'd be perfect. Zach just nailed on the head. Rory, let's. I'm clipping this and sending it to him.
Yeah,
let's do it, baby.
I'm literally texting him. I want to text him tomorrow and be like, dude, like, let's do
All I
You
want
gotta
is
make it
all I
happen.
want is an album liner. You know, I just want my name in the album liner. You know.
Oh, you're
That's
getting
awesome.
all the credit because
All
I
right,
just put a brainstorm in both our heads. Like,
let's go. Let's go.
hey,
All right, let's make it
That's a good
happen.
question, though. I liked it.
oh,
Oh,
what the
thank you.
fuck? Let's take Dayseeker on our tour too. I'm such an asshole.
Oh yeah, what are we
Oh, boo!
doing? I like how
Fake
George
fan,
said,
fake
Yeah,
he
fan.
said,
Okay.
let us take Dayseeker on that tour too. By
Yeah,
the way.
they. Are you gonna
Yeah,
clip this? Are you gonna clip
okay.
this part, George,
Yeah.
too? Where you said you're gonna take them on? No, I'm kidding.
Where we had this idea.
Let us take them on tour. Yeah, okay. Yeah, fuck that. Being stupid with that.
Wow, we just totally. I feel like single-handedly Zach and I canceled George.
So, yeah, it was great.
Denied.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my
Who's the
god.
background guy? I just shaved my beard. Hey, guys.
You're like, this George guy, he just broke into my house and did the interview for me. I don't have a beard.
Honestly, George, that should be like your thing. You know, like you ever work at a place where they have like the OSHA like sign and it says it's been X amount of days since our last incident. Your beard can be the representation of that, and every time you shave a clean shave, that's the amount of days since the last incident.
That'd be great. We have like a little. He has like a little sign like on the back wall, like.
Yeah.
Like,
I
"Well,
mean,
you
look at
shaved
this
today,
empty
George,
space,
huh?
dude.
What happened?" He'd be like, "I don't want to talk about it."
Oh,
we'll talk about it, man.
Like,
Beard's
you
gone.
look like a giant thumb. Have you ever seen Sprockets? Like, no, dude. I've heard it all.
Oh my god. You look like one of those Nintendo Mii characters.
I know.
He kind of does when he does do it.
Dude, I'm the ugly. First of all, I'm a confident bald guy or hairless guy.
You
I
are.
do look good, but god, that beard. If this beard's gone, I look so gross. Like,
Bald
Wouldn't know the
absolutely
feeling.
bad.
I wouldn't know the feeling. Yeah, I can't. My
Yeah, dude.
facial hair game is.
Yeah,
No.
you got a head full of hair, both of you.
Yeah, that's true. We
You're
do.
alright.
We do. But anyway,
Basically.
Dayseeker.
Yes.
Let's make it
Basically.
happen. I'm listen.
Glory.
I'm all. This is. I feel like this year is like split collab albums or EP. No, well,
It
not EP.
is.
It's like split
It
EP season. You know, so I'm about it. I'm about it. You know, listen. Put my seal of approval on that. I'm down for it. I mean, like Holding Absence and Alpha Wolf are doing a collab
Oh, for
together,
sure.
and that's wild. The 2 songs that are out are just fucking nuts. And I know there's a whole host of other bands that are just doing it. So I mean, listen, that's the wave. That's the wave. I'm about it. You know. So
Bands have been doing it for a while. It's just normalized now, I think, because of the pandemic for creativity purposes.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, look at like Silverstein and Beartooth with Silverstein.
Yeah.
Like, that was like a big one.
But I feel like
That
they
was a
didn't.
Warped
But
Tour, like,
yeah, I was gonna
exclusive.
say I don't feel like they actually recorded anything. So I feel like if they
Yeah, they did.
that would be really tight too. But
Like Sundress and Nominee, 2018.
Yes.
That
Yep.
was like.
I have that.
Kind of going.
I have that record in my collection somewhere. So pretty sick. But the last thing, guys, the most important thing, the reason you're on here, tell the people where they can find Poeta at. What you guys have coming up in the next couple months. And I don't know if you can give me, you know, like a little teaser on when the album's gonna be released, but you know what I'm saying, you know. Sorry, I had to get some. I had, you know, I cough or something.
Fall, excuse me. I had
Sorry.
something too. Fall. I'm falling right now. I fell off my chair.
You gotta get some life alert, George. All right.
He does.
This other email needs a life alert. Like,
Okay, cool,
wrap
great.
around
I
my
got
neck
you.
3 times.
I'll haul ass to Levittown.
So you can find all of my. You can find all of my. Alright.
Oh my god.
Boo!
Shave the beard already, dude.
Get
You
him
have
out of here,
Clean shaven. It's all
man.
good.
Done.
Hey man, I'm the one doing social media, so leave me alone. So
Yeah,
you
he's
find
kind
all
of
my-
like in a fugue state right now from just looking at a computer screen all day. He's like,
Oh my
That's
God,
true.
dude,
That's
it's
true. I
awesome.
feel that. I feel that. I feel
I
the
just-
vibes.
Brandon, I had to do 200 submissions in 3 days, and that was from being absent in like a month and a half. I was like not okay, and like I only did the pop punk ones because like I'm gonna promote it today. Like obviously, probably did it out, but
Bless your soul,
it's
bud.
exhausting. Thank you, dude. So all streaming platforms, Poeta Band, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I don't do all the social media. Some people definitely take over a little bit in the band when they want to. So don't assume it's me. But we are we are going to be releasing some new singles soon. Within the summertime. Obviously, Blossom came out already the day after this interview has been posted. Yeah, I mean, we have a couple more things coming our way, and you should expect an album before the year ends for sure.
There we go. Zach, you want to add anything, sir?
We got some cool collabs coming up too on merch. We got some cool stuff coming up with that.
Hot off the press.
Hot off the press. So it's gonna be a couple things you've never seen before. Limited runs of a lot of that stuff, and they're gonna be cool. You're gonna want to get your hands on it when you see it. Also, there's one specific limited run that we're gonna do with a collab that may or may not be in conjunction with a gig. So that's gonna be a big thing. So that's something I'm really looking forward to, and I can't wait till we can talk about it.
If you live in New Jersey and you come out to our album release show, you will get this product.
Yes.
You will get this
product. Guess so now I'm going to have to carve out some time to go to Jersey now.
and it's very, very limited.
Yep. And so after we get a lot of this stuff on hand, we're going to be setting up like a formal merch store online. So it'll be a little bit easier to get to Poeta stuff. You don't have to go to a gig anymore. So that should be hopefully a thing within the next month or so. Yeah, some cool gigs lined up. Album coming out.
Woo.
There's a lot of stuff coming around the corner. So I'm excited.
Very excited. And we already played with Eras in Action after this is done recording, but we haven't actually played with them. So I hope that gig goes well. I can't wait for that.
Yep.
I love recording everything in the future, and then they're like,
I know it's great. Like,
yeah, that gig. I wonder what the gig's like.
Because I could literally clip that and then like go and just go to
throw
the
it in.
Event, you know what I mean? Be like, oh, sick. Like,
it was good. I'll just add text in when this comes closer to. I'll be like, George, how was the show? And you're just like,
I'll send you footage.
And I'll be like, it's good, very good.
It's very good. No,
Ben played well. Ben played well. Load Van fast. Get out fast. You know? No, I'm very excited for the new record that will be coming out in the fall time. Insert.
Well, we can't assume that.
Can't assume, but I mean, when the leaves fall, the Poeta's album will come out. So that's what I think. That's like written in some stone somewhere. But I'm very excited. I've always, obviously George and I are good buddies, very good buddies in the scene, and obviously, great band Poeta. Very excited to, listen to the entire album, listen to all the singles, try to cry my eyes out every time I listen to something of theirs, which, every day. And I really implore you guys to go check them out. I will leave all of the links in the description where you can go check them out. Go check out their music video for Stella on Caliber TV. They're also fantastic. Caliber TV. Feel free to come on the channel if you want. Just saying, that'd be kind of sick. But they're awesome. Great people too. So go give them some love. But very excited. I'm hoping that Poeta will come back on for a live track by track so we can talk about the entire album in full. Unadulterated, just good times there. So very excited. Still have plenty of Poeta merch in my in the bedroom somewhere, so I'll have to go find an old shirt. I'm pretty sure I have the shirt that, and George can confirm this. I'm pretty sure I have the shirt where it's literally just the flower on the just the big sunflower on it, and I don't think it was a tank top. It was just like a normal T-shirt, and I've had that for.
I was in Tennessee last week, and my mother-in-law wore that down to a cave in Tennessee.
I know that like a sore thumb, dude. That's for sure.
I know it was George sent out all these really nice care packages when he was secret shit. So I have a bunch of.
Yeah, I gave all the close homies a really nice care package. So
it was very nice, And then now I'm gonna wait till you guys get big, and then I can sell it on eBay. I mean, totally did not say that. Who said that? Wow.
Dude, let me sign it first.
Damn cash,
you know what I mean? If we're trying to make some money here,
I'll give you a cut.
I would like to get a 30% cut.
You got it. All right, all right. We'll work out the details in DMs. But for real, go check out Poeta. They're awesome. Not only great people, but awesome musicians as well. So please go give them some love. If you happen to live in the New Jersey or tri-state area, keep an eye out for some, show details. Maybe cough, an album release show. Cough, like other shit. Cough. I don't know. I'm just gonna infer that there are other things on the horizon. So cough. So just saying. That's out there. Go follow him on social media. But if you enjoyed this interview, share, like, subscribe. It goes a long way. I feel like an old fart for asking for that every time, but listen.
Just do it.
You fucking subscribe. That'd be sick. But yes, thanks to the Poeta guys for hanging out and chatting, and very excited for the new record.
Thanks, brother. We appreciate you and love you, like, to the moon and back. So, I mean, we love the support, and we love, like, the help you give us every day. So, much appreciated.